Well, hi, and welcome to the channel. Brian Stites with RE/MAX Results in the Twin Cities Real Estate Guide, your guide to everything real estate. Appreciate you coming. Today, we have a fantastic topic. We're going to be talking about the cost of living in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So if you're interested, stick around. We're going to get started. So let's go. All right, like I said, this video is on the cost of living in Minneapolis, Minnesota specifically, but the cost of living in general. So I think what we need to do is figure out, what does cost of living mean? So I picked up my handy dandy computer and I did a little Google search. So the cost of living is the amount of money needed to sustain a certain level of living, including basic expenses such as housing, food, taxes, and healthcare. The cost of living is also used to compare how expensive it is to live in one city versus another. So what we're going to do is we're going to break that down, and I'm going to give you some great resources so that you can compare city to city. So one thing people don't consider when moving from one state to another is what might be the impact on my family and on my finances if I do that. Is my $100,000 going to be worth the same in Chicago as it is in Minneapolis? Well, there are some great sites out there to check that out. The first one we're going to look at is called the Tax Foundation. I'm going to put a link in the description box below so that you can find that real easy. All right, as you look at the Tax Foundation site, you see the state of Minnesota. Relative value of $100 in Minnesota is $102.56. So that obviously sounds good. But if you look at the rankings, we are in the 30th position out of 50 states. If we scroll down here, you can see that Mississippi was the where you get the most bang for your buck. In Mississippi, $100 is worth $115.74, and in Hawaii, ranks number 50th, your $100 is worth $84.46. So you say, Brian, that sounds relatively confusing, and it is. Another great site to look at where you can put in where you're moving from and where you're moving to. You can put in your salary amount, and then you can see how that impacts your finances when you move there. That's called nerdwallet.com. That's the site you want to check out. So let's take a look at NerdWallet and see if you're moving from Chicago to Minneapolis and you are getting a job as a mechanical engineer and you're making $100,000 a year, what's the impact on you? So let's check that out. All right, so if we look at NerdWallet's cost of living calculator, you can see here, you can put in the city where you currently live. So I put in, let's say you live in Chicago and you're going to be moving to the St. Paul, Minneapolis area, and you make $100,000. Well, in Minneapolis, you would only need to make $88,825 to have the same buying power as your $100,000 in Chicago. That is 11% less, so it's a cost of living savings of 11%. Housing costs are 33% lower. And then you can see as you scroll down here, it breaks it down by categories: food, entertainment, healthcare, transportation, and then of course you get the overall total score. So in Minneapolis here, it's 11% lower cost of living than it is in Chicago. All right, if you really want to go crazy and dig into the numbers, you can check out the U.S. Census Bureau. They have a fantastic site, and you can get all of the information you ever wanted to know about Minnesota, schools, demographics, everything. So U.S. Census Bureau, I put a link in the description box below for you to check that out. So if you're thinking about relocating here to the Twin Cities of Minnesota or any of the surrounding suburbs, I would love to be a resource for you. You can feel free to reach out to me at 651-214-9948, or feel free down below, leave a comment, and I'll be sure to get back to you right away on that. I know it's stressful moving into a new city, especially when you don't know anybody, and we do have a network of professionals that I'd love to connect you with. So again, appreciate you coming. We'll look forward to talking to you soon. Hey, you stuck around till the end. If you want some more great content around the real estate space, go ahead and subscribe down below. You can also hit the little bell and get notified when we put out great videos each and every week. Also, if you're interested, you can check out those videos right there. We'll see you next time.